Hey guys, it's olivershutterspeed here again with another photoshoot behind the scenes. And in today's video I shot with Vignette, and in this photoshoot we shot at this train station, and when we arrived there we started doing some test shoots in front of this graffiti building, and I noticed is that Vignette also did really good poses. I mean, she's just 18 years old and she's so experienced, and I didn't even have to do a lot of corrections. She nailed it straight from the beginning. And one thing we also wanted to mention is, and that's so important to remember, is that when you shoot at train locations you have to be very careful because they are dangerous and you don't know if a train comes suddenly, and that's why be very careful when you shoot there and don't go onto the rails, because when you do photos you get like this photo burst, you just feel so good and then you forget about your surroundings, so just be very careful there. And another tip for you guys is that when you shoot on a location and when people are staring at you, just see it as a compliment, like they look at you because you're doing something interesting. So yeah, and also with Vignette, because she's so confident, it didn't really bother us at all. So another thing we noticed, and we just kept going. And yeah, after that I also had the funny idea because she also had her suitcase with her with all her outfits, and I asked her if she can sit on it, and we have the rails in the background and it looked like this travel girl kind of style. And we did some photos also with her dress. She was leaning against this red wall. What I realized is that the train location really didn't fit the outfit of her. We were shooting more street style at the train location and the dress was more like this formal kind of vibe. So we decided to go back to the Lenkwerk, and we had to walk 10-15 minutes, and it also started to get a bit cold, but time went so fast, and when we arrived we saw these emergency stairs and we did some portraits there. And what I also noticed is, because it was so getting cold, I also noticed we lost a bit of energy, if you know what I mean. We were getting a bit saggy, but I knew there was still energy in Vignette, so I asked her if she can change her outfit again, and I didn't want it to go home and we didn't shoot these outfits. And it's important that when you bring outfits with you, that you also try your best to shoot all the outfits and just push yourself and don't lay back, don't think oh, that's fine. Try to shoot as much as possible, and then you have more photos to choose from. And now we are in camera raw, and I wanted to show you now how I edit my portraits for Instagram. And for this photo I was using the a6000 and the 85mm 1.8, and we also were shooting on an ISO 100. And my biggest mistake on photo shoots is sometimes that I raise the ISO too high, even in natural light. So when you're on a photo shoot location, make sure you always shoot on ISO 100 if you can. Because the cool thing about ISO 100 is that you don't have so much grain, and you can still edit that in post-process with, for example, noise reduction, but always make sure your camera settings are correct on a photo shoot. So basically, to begin this video, what I always do is when I do a photo edit, I always see is the white balance correct or the tint. And I'm actually pretty happy with the temperature and tint so far. We're going to add a bit of contrast, and we're going to raise a bit the blacks and the whites. And here with clarity, we're also going to add a bit of clarity and texture. And here with the vibrance, we're going to lower it a bit. And we're also going to lower a bit the saturation. And our next step is we're going to make these green areas now brown. And there's a cool way to do that. So here in Color Mixer, we have the option to go here on Hue. And the green slider and the yellows, we're going to put them to the left now. And you can already see this area here is turning brown, so we just do a bit more. And another tip is when you always change your hue slider in your color mixer, you also have to make sure that the skin is still kind of normal, because sometimes it gets too saturated or something. So our next step is that we're going to choose our adjustment brush here. And with this adjustment brush, we're going to lower a bit the saturation to around -10, and then we're going to hover over the model's face like this. So you can already see a big difference here. So this is a bit too saturated in my opinion, and this is an after. And we can also make adjustments to around -6. So if you feel something is kind of still wrong, we can also change that with the adjustment brush. And our next step, what we're going to do is we go here and we're going to make the eyes more pop out. So my big tip for you guys is that you always make sure when you do changes again, that you first go here on your reset local correction settings. So now everything is back to normal, and we're going to raise a bit the exposure, and we're also going to raise the clarity and texture. And now we're going to zoom into the model to the eyes, and now we're going to hover over the eyes, and we're going to make them pop out more. And if you feel like this is still not right, you can also put on your mask options and see which area you selected. So this is a bit too much, so we're going to do it to around plus 15, 0.15. And next, what I also like to do is, so we're going to create a new adjustment brush, and we're going to make sure again that we reset the local correction settings, and we're going to also make the skin more soft. So the way we do that is here with clarity, and we're going to put the clarity slider to the left like this, and then we're going to hover over her skin like this, over her nose, and like this. And if you feel like you still want to reduce a bit the clarity, you can also do that in post-process. So we're going to go over her skin like this, and here over her hands. And when we zoom out, guys, we see here a before and after. I can show you so far. And we're just going to make the clarity a bit to the right like this. So yeah, guys, here you can also see with this eye tool, you can see here also before and after. And our next step is we're going to press K again, and we're also going to go back to the basic tool. We're just going to lower a bit the blacks. And a cool thing you can also do here with curves is, here in curves you can also create an S-curve. So we also have more contrast here as well, like this. And our next step is here with effects. And what I love about Camera Raw is that we can also make a vignette here. So we're just going to do that like this. So here you already see a before and after. And another cool thing is calibration. So here we have our blue primary. And when we're going to go here on hue, we're going to do that slider to the left. So we also have this cool effect here. And some people also ask me, how do we crop this photo? So there's an easy way how you can do that. So you can press C, or you can go up here on your crop tool. And here we need to choose 4:5. So like this. And now we're just going to make this a bit smaller, and we're also going to make sure this fits also with these lines like this. And here we go. So we're going to press enter. And down here you also have your toggle tool, and you can press that as well and see also before and after. And I'm pretty happy so far with this image, and this is how I edit my portraits for Instagram. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more content like this, where I edit my portraits and where I also show you my photo shoot behind the scenes, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also make sure to ring the bell so you always get notified when I upload a new video. And guys, thank you so much again for watching. And also huge thank you to Fenia for being the model. And guys, take care of yourself and see you next time. Bye.